Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Aquarius for May 2016. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, and check out what's new on my blog. While you're there, sign up for my free email newsletter and become part of my community. I've started doing some really cool interviews with amazing people doing wonderful things in the world, and you will get access to those, among other things. So what is going on in this month of May? We've got this wall of retrogrades that started in April. Some of the energy started a little sooner than that, but it got really strong in April and continues into May. At the same time, we have this blessing of a series of trines throughout the whole month of May and Jupiter going direct. So this energy of blessing and things coming in and Jupiter being activated is all happening at the same time in the midst of this strong focus backwards. So let's talk about all of that. For Aquarius, Jupiter has been moving through the 8th house for early degree placements. Early degree placements are basically January born Aquariuses. And if you have an ascendant of between 0 and around 10 degrees, you are an early degree placement for your rising sign. So Jupiter has been in the 8th house for all of you. The rest of the Aquarius placements will have had Jupiter still in the 7th house. But there is a similarity here in that the 7th and 8th house are both partnership houses. Jupiter brings growth, expansion, luck, benevolence. It can also exacerbate situations that could be problematic in order to bring them in your face so that there could be resolution, because Jupiter really wants resolution. It doesn't really want to make trouble, but sometimes you have to have something made bigger in order to really see it and really work with it. And that's what is Jupiter's job to do. So last year, like late summer, when Jupiter started to accentuate the 8th house for early placements, was still in the 7th house for the rest of you, it really started strengthening this story of expanding your connections with people. So this can be through any kind of personal relationship, clients, people you work with, business collaborators, romantic interests, or just people that are very close to you in a one-on-one type of relationship. So when Jupiter started to go backwards in January, all that momentum, that good feeling, that expansion that may have started to come kind of got tabled, and you might have said, whoa, what happened here? Where did the Jupiter blessings go? I know that on the day Jupiter went retrograde, I had forgotten that day that was the day, and Jupiter is in a certain area in my chart, and there were blessings that were just like going crazy from around August through December. And then in the beginning of January, I got the news that that was not going to be happening anymore. And I said to my husband, where the hell is Jupiter? Where's my buddy? Because this news was kind of telling of Jupiter not really doing what I thought it was supposed to be doing. And then I thought, right, Jupiter went retrograde. And then this kind of tabling, this kind of taking a break, kind of cooling off of the expansion energy was brought in. And that's been continuing January, February, March, April, into May. But May 9th, when Jupiter goes direct, he wakes up again. So all the projects that he was working on, expanding for you, can come back into the forefront. So for early degree placements, this could have to do with any shared financial resources, like, and even some of the middle degree placements. Or any of you, really, if it has something to do with a relationship. But it's more for the earlier placements that it's in the 8th house, and the 8th house rules credit, debt, getting loans, student loans, getting funding for something, investment capital, spousal money, inheritances, sweepstakes, family money, anything that's called other people's money. It's like money coming in that's helping you, that's not originally your own. And that includes loans to buy houses, etc., and credit cards. So you might have had things moving forward there, and then maybe something seemed like it stopped. And this is what probably happened, is that Jupiter went retrograde. But in May, everything gets turned back on again. So relationships might pick up where they left off, new expansion might come in, and all of this is happening at the same time as everything is in retrograde. So there will be this period of time of kind of awkwardness as Jupiter is waking up, but Mars and Mercury are still retrograde. So you might see blessings come in from previous efforts. If you launched things in February and March, you might start to see things come in from those efforts. You know, it's like things coming to you, but you're not really initiating them. And that's the difference between this energy of trine, this energy of Jupiter waking back up, is like things coming to you without you really actively going out to try to get them. Which is good use of the energy, because when Mars and Mercury is in retrograde, it's not the time to initiate. It's not the time to try to go out and get. It's the time to be like the spider and weave your web and then let the food come to you, or what the things that you want come to you. And that's kind of the Aquarius story within relationships and financial dealings. You've already woven the web, so now you just sit back and just wait for it to come to you. And when it does, be very cautious about what you agree to. Some of the blessings that come in from these trines, a trine is a 120-degree angle. It's super favorable. It's the most favorable angle in all of astrology, if you could compare them. And so things might come to you that you might automatically, before even someone's finished presenting to you what's coming, you might say, yes, okay, yes. You don't even know what it is. You're saying yes because this is something you've been waiting for. Just be really careful doing that, because you don't know the whole story. Things might be withheld intentionally, or just because it hasn't been revealed yet, and it will be. You don't know everything yet when the retrogrades of Mars and Mercury are still occurring. So if you can kind of draw out your negotiation process as far as what you're agreeing to with these opportunities that come in, instead of just saying yes right away, I think that is going to help you a lot in the long run. Now, you don't want to lose out on it by being too slow or not being in communication with the whoever it is. But I hope that you see the energy that I'm saying here. You know, there's pieces that have to come in. There's things that you might not think of as soon as you say, yes, I want to do it. And then you think, oh, well, how would this work? How would this work? How would this work? And do your best to get everything in writing, because retrograde energy is the type of energy that someone says they're going to do something and then they either forget or they purposely just don't do it. And if you don't have any documentation of it, you don't have any recourse. So that's a very good takeaway. I also highly recommend that you take the time to watch my Mars retrograde video on my channel. You can search for Annie Botticelli Mars retrograde, and read my Mars retrograde blog, and listen to the Mercury retrograde blog, because we're not going to do justice to those two transits, but they're fully active this month, and you really want to know the do's and don'ts of that period of time. So there's a short-term energy. Jupiter as more of a longer-term energy. There's a short-term energy for Aquarius placements in the third house. Massive amounts of energy moving through the third house. Most of you are going to have the new moon there. The sun is there. Mercury is there in retrograde. Venus is there. So the third house has to do with your communication, your transportation, your devices and vehicles that bring you and you communicate on. You know, it rules everything like that. It also rules relatives like siblings and uncles and aunts and cousins. Not as much parents and kids. They're in a different area, but this third house rules all of those relatives. So things could be happening with them that are relevant. And just things having to do in general with your mobility, like moving around. When the planets start to move into Gemini, as they will towards the end of this month, things start to get busy. You know, it's like you're doing things with the energy in Taurus that are kind of like stable, steadfast, you know, and then when the energy gets into Gemini, it's like, whoop, spinning all out all over the place. So you'll be able to follow that energy pretty clearly. And the third house is actually the house of Gemini. So you're going to have really all month long, even when the planets are in Taurus, some element of just busyness. Like, wow, you can't believe there's so much going on, and you're here and you're there and you're talking, you're communicating with people, and people are coming back at you from out of the blue, and things like that. So there's something else that's going on. You know, when we look at a horoscope chart, there are planets that move very quickly, like the sun and the moon and Mercury and Venus. And then there are planets that move really slowly. And the ones that move really slowly, when we look at the horoscope from month to month, those planets are still in the same place because they only move between 2 and 5 or so degrees a year. And these are bringing stories of a long-term process that you're going through. So early degree placements, again, the January born Aquarius or 0 to 10 degrees for ascendant, you've been having massive amounts of long-term activity in your house of finances. How you make money, who you make your money through, how you spend your money, what you value, what you prioritize. All of that story, your financial picture, your sustainable imprint or not, how you're playing with the sensual pleasures in the world that having more money, like luxuries basically, or not, or no luxuries, the opposite. So this story of the second house is being brought to the Aquarius experience in a big way over a long period of time. And the players there are Neptune, which brings dissolution and hopefully subsequent spiritualizing of your process. So like maybe things are dissolved away, but then it increases your momentum for your spiritual path. And then Chiron, which is the wounded healer, which is like that place where you feel completely victimized, like things are out of your control and someone's doing something to you. And then the South Node, which completely rules karma and how you're using your gifts in the world to walk in the world. So Aquarius placements are having this long-term story of clearing out of money karma, clearing out of victimhood within, the financial and emotional security realms, clearing out issues of addictions. They're also very current when Neptune is involved. So you've got the short-term things in the third house with movement and communication and busyness and vehicles and transportation, and also your physical mobility, like your body and how it moves. And then you've got these long-term things that are telling this bigger story. So at the same time, we have Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde. And at the same time, we have a massive amount of trines bringing expansion and growth and all kinds of goodies that just are handed to you. They're the kind of things that are just awesome without you having to really do that much with them. We've talked in previous months about a 60-degree angle. A 60-degree angle wants you to, it brings nice things, but it wants you to do something with them in order to fully activate them. And I likened those angles to like a pear that you bake and it's so yummy. But then if you drizzle it with honey, you're like really maximizing the situation. That's what a 60-degree angle brings. And we do actually have one of those at the end of the month as well. But most of the month is just this perfection handed to you, and then all you have to do is kind of be discerning with how you agree to receive those blessings. So if you want some help with that, you can check out my website, anniehelpsyou.com. You can read my blogs on various topics. You can also look into my personal coaching, and you can check out my Train Your Brain programs. They're subliminal programs that I made. They include binaural beats. Some of them have the miracle frequency, the 528, all intended to shift your neuronal firings in your brain and make new pathways for new and better experiences. So you can check them out on my website. And I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.